Hi, today is January 23rd. Welcome back to my email messages and my newsletters. We'll be trying to send these out once a week just to keep you updated about what's going on here in the legislature. My office is all moved in. It is quite an undertaking to move back and forth each year. Not only moving here to Juneau, but then of course we pack up and move back to Anchorage. A lot of people don't realize that when the legislature's not in session, legislators go home, and we live in our communities. We're Alaskans, just like you. Some of the things that I wanted to share with you, the Senate majority does have, again, measurable goals for this session. And they're very similar to the goals that we had last year, that is to reduce, to reform, and to look at revenue, so the 3 R's. We are looking at reductions, further reductions in state government size, looking at about $750 million more over the next 3 years. In terms of reforms, there's still plenty of room for reforms in Medicaid. We've made some reforms in criminal justice. I know many of you have had huge concerns about those reforms and the impact on you in our communities. We are going to be looking at those reforms again and perhaps adjusting a few of those. And lastly, revenue. Will we be imposing some form of taxation? Will we be using part of the earnings reserve account? These are discussions that will take place. I wanted to share with you what I heard going door to door. I traveled approximately 800 miles over a 16-week period this last summer, going door to door throughout our district. And just to refresh you, in terms of our district, it goes from Portage, down at the end of Turnagain Arm, all the way up to DeBar Road in Muldoon. In fact, I kind of use the landmark of the Fred Meyer store there on Muldoon Road. My district stops right across the street from that. So it's a very large and diverse district, but I went door to door and heard a lot of great stuff. First of all, one of the questions that I asked folks is, if it were up to you and you were looking at taxation, which would you choose? An income tax or a sales tax? And I just want to share with you that 75% of the folks, your neighbors and friends in our district, said they would prefer a sales tax over an income tax. When I asked the question about using the earnings reserve account and perhaps capping the permanent fund dividend at $1,000, it was split 50-50. Some people said don't touch the permanent fund at all. Others said go ahead and use it and use part of the earnings reserve account. So that's kind of up in the air. But everyone added an additional phrase after those statements, and that was, but don't do either of those things, a tax or use part of the permanent fund earnings, unless you've cut government more. And the third thing that I heard that was very interesting had to do with the natural gas pipeline. 100% of the folks that I spoke to over that 800-mile journey through our district said we need to stop spending on this gas pipeline project that the producers themselves say does not meet the threshold for being viable. So that was very interesting, and I'm here to represent your views. And so that was very helpful information. You're going to see a survey going out from the Senate majority. We want your input, and I do hope that you'll answer that survey. If for some reason you don't get that, please let me know, because I'll make sure that your contact, which is an email, is given to the survey people so that you are asked on future surveys for your opinions. I want everyone to have their opportunity to submit their thoughts. Most of my bills during this coming session deal with reducing the cost of government to you, the citizen. In other words, reducing the regulatory burden on you as a family, on you as a business. My main focus is going to be on budget reductions and most of my bills deal with ways to save money in state government. So thanks very much for listening. Hope you enjoy the newsletter, and we'll see you again next week.